Good morning. We're here in Birmingham, Alabama at Phillips Academy, where history was made in 1963. But in 2014, today, we're making history with Secretary Arne Duncan from Education Department and Secretary from HUD, the new Secretary Castro. Is going to be speaking with young students about what it is to be a My Brother's Keeper. INROADS students are here. Phillips Academy students and other nonprofit organization selected students are going to be speaking about their childhood experience and what it's like to be an African American male. And stay tuned for more about My Brother's Keeper, STEM diversity, here in Birmingham, Alabama in 2014. Progress indeed has been made.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Phillips Academy, to my board members that are here, to staff, to Representative Sewell, and certainly the honorees and the reason we're here. I certainly want to welcome each and every one of you here today in this opportunity to talk and have some conversation about what's happening in My Brother's Keeper and so forth. So we thank you all so very much for joining us. It is my pleasure to be here. I'm Craig Witherspoon, Superintendent of Birmingham City Schools. And it's my pleasure at this point to introduce and bring to the microphone Representative Terry Sewell, who is certainly a friend of education and friend to all of us as we try to move forward. So at this time, Representative Terry Sewell.
Good morning. It's a great day in Birmingham. I want to welcome the two secretaries who have been so gracious to come to our lovely city. Secretary of Education, Arne Duncan, thank you so much for including us on your bus tour, and thank you so much, Secretary Castro, for joining him on this bus tour. I think you'll find that we here in Birmingham are on the move, and education reform is the catalyst for that movement. And we're very proud of the students that you'll get a chance to speak with today. And we know that the President's initiative, My Brother's Keeper, is something that's near and dear to so many of our hearts. We know that young boys of color are at risk. And we've have a lot of really positive programs here in our city that are trying to address that. And I think it's amazing that the President has made that one of his signature initiatives. And I think it speaks volumes that both secretaries are here today to help us evaluate this initiative and move forward. I want to say that I am so proud of Superintendent Witherspoon and State Superintendent Vice for all that you're doing for our children. I think all of us talk about education being the great equalizer. We know it is the great equalizer, and it's important for our children to know that they can be and do anything they want to be. And I think that it's a true testament that we have two cabinet members here in Birmingham, Alabama today to really reinforce the fact that we all believe in you and know that you can be the very best that you possibly can be. So thank you. I want to take this opportunity to bring the visionary leader of our city, our mayor, to the podium. Mayor Bell has done an amazing job, not just pleasure to represent the state of Birmingham, the city of Birmingham, and the state of Alabama, and it's especially wonderful to have you as a partner, Mayor Bell, in the endeavors that we look forward to making sure that our city continues to move forward. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman. I want to express my appreciation to having the cooperative working relationship that we do with your office. It's a passion for our Congresswoman to make sure that Birmingham and the entire 7th District of the state of Alabama get their due recognition from the federal government in terms of support and trying to accomplish those things that we know will lift up our community and make it a better place. There are no more important cabinet positions than the Secretary of Education and Secretary of HUD. I'm honored to have been a part of the President's My Brother's Keepers initiative, in which we met several weeks ago in Washington, D.C., and Secretary Arne Duncan was there. He is the one that's helping the President craft this initiative to make sure that we give the attention where it's needed to save generations of young African American and Hispanic boys from the plight of inner city lives, and he is really standing up and speaking out on these issues. I'm so happy to have him here with us today to have this roundtable. Another key component to building our communities is the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Secretary Castro formerly was the mayor of San Antonio, and he's done an outstanding job in that city of focusing in on rebuilding neighborhoods and communities. He's initiated land banking programs, he's initiated high quality preschool and educational programs there to lift up the community. We have taken that as a model here in our community to do the very same thing, and we're focusing like a laser beam to make sure that we bring quality of life support to all of our communities throughout the city of Birmingham. And we will do that in partnership with the Department of Education and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. This morning, we're here to talk about My Brother's Keeper and the issues of education. I'm so honored to have both of these gentlemen here. So now it's time to move forward with the roundtable discussion. And the young people who are sitting here, they have a lot to say, and we have our ears open and we're willing to listen. So let's get started. Thank you.
I'm Julian Grant. I'm actually an alumnus of the INROADS program. I got started in 2010 from a random call from my father. While I was at school, he called me and said, I have a meeting set up for you, and I was just excited about it. So I drove down to Birmingham on that next Saturday, had a meeting with the program director for INROADS, which spiraled into me having an interview, my very first interview at that, with Alabama Power, which then spiraled into me, faithfully landing that position, which now transforms into me having this full-time job with Alabama Power. It's just been a great program for me. I got started in 2010, it's now 2014, and just to see the transformation that INROADS has instilled in me, the professional development, the looking you in your eye when I speak, and having a firm handshake when I meet you, and even to go beyond that of just the small impression of having a business card, the tone that sets, all of those things combined into one. It shows you that INROADS really develops you as a student, because while you're in school, you of course get that educational aspect. You learn what they want you to learn. You learn how to take a test. You learn how to go about intermingling with your professors. But it goes beyond that, outside of those four walls, intermingling with your fellow colleagues or fellow students, and knowing how to succeed in the professional arena. And that's what INROADS gave me.
My name is Jade Norman. I'm a graduating senior at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. I've been an INROADS intern for the past 4 years. I discovered INROADS through my high school guidance counselor. She encouraged me to apply to the INROADS program. I went through the INROADS application process, and my first internship with INROADS was with Regions Financial, being a community involvement intern. Over the course of the past 4 years, INROADS has helped me gain the professional development skills that I need. It's also helped me gain human resources, development mentors, but also given me real world work experience, which I really enjoyed. INROADS has led me to be the business professional I would like to be, and it helped me mentor my cousins and future students who are coming into college to tell them about the great resources that INROADS has to offer and the benefits that will give them throughout college.
Secretary Duncan, were there any ideas that you heard today that I was struggling for and maybe you all are already working to implement?
Well, a lot of great ideas. So, not in any particular order, the idea around technology being an equalizer, and technology, I think, can drive both excellence and equity if there's access. If there's not access, it exacerbates the divide between the haves and have-nots, so that's one. The idea of better funding for nonprofits, how we help grow some of these nonprofits, and I think there's some great grassroots groups here in the community with some more resources to reach more students. We got to figure out how to do that. How we make sure teachers are teaching in a way that students are understanding that. You heard that. How we do better professional development for teachers. So I think there's a number of different things that people talk about. I want to come back to the young people's leaders themselves, and whatever we can do to continue to empower them, put them in position over their peers. We can't do that.
Secretary Duncan, from Oakland Government TV, what did you think about when you heard these young people today? Collaboration and mentorship. Those two areas come out.
Well, I'll just again speak personally. I was lucky to have two extraordinary parents, well-educated parents, grow up in a really strong family. But I've had a mentor since I was about 10 years old. I'm turning 50 this year. So the past 4 decades, that mentor, a man named John Rogers, had an extraordinary impact on my life. And I haven't made a significant decision ever without talking it through with him and getting his thoughts and feedback. And again, I came from a middle-class, well-educated family. I think about kids today who might not have a dad in their life, might not have all the resources. The desperate need for mentors and role models is huge. They can't just be at 16, 17, 18. That's got to start at 6 and 7 and 8 years old. If you go to any kindergarten teacher, she can tell you, not the 30 kids in the class, that kindergarten teacher can tell you who are those 3 or 4 kids who need some extra help, who need some extra support. And school systems can't do this by themselves. They need churches, they need nonprofits, they need social service agencies. If we commit early and stay the course, these young men are going to be fantastic, I promise you. If we don't do that, we allow them to fall through the cracks, we see the consequences in terms of the loss of human potential. And we have to say that's not acceptable. We have to stop allowing that loss of potential.